of New York, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thanks for being here. Thank you. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Well, I am delighted to be back here once again and to, first of all, thank Dr. Adam Aponte for inviting us back. And I don't know if you know that this organization is also one who gave me one of my COVID shots. And so doesn't hurt anymore, I promise you. But also the CEO of this health center and the East Harlem Council of Human Resources. You know, I wish we didn't have to be here today. I mean, I love seeing all of you. Love to come and have lunch with the seniors. We don't call them seniors. We call them. No, what was the one about teenagers? Recycled teenagers. Okay. I'm a recycled teenager. Okay. So I'd love to come back and have some of the turkey, which smells really good, with everybody for a different occasion. But it breaks my heart, the reason we have to be here today. And I want to thank all the elected officials who are just recognized, our state leaders, our local city leaders, who understand the urgency of this moment. And grateful for all of them, and also our member of Congress, Adriano Espaillat. You'll be hearing from him momentarily. He is fighting the fight for us in Washington. I want to thank him for being. You'll also be hearing from a number of our speakers who are going to tell you what it's really like. You know, we talk about cuts and numbers, and there's real people behind these stories, and it's important we showcase them as well. I also want to thank our Commissioner Barbara Gwynn, the Office of Temporary and Disability Assistance, for all of her and all of the people who represent the food pantries, the food banks, the social services organizations, the people are going to be affected in the grocery stores. We're going to have farmers affected. I mean, everything that's going on here has a ripple effect throughout our state. So it is great to be back here. As I say, I'm in Harlem a lot of meals here particularly, but it's great to be back in Harlem. And you think about the fact that this neighborhood, this vibrant community, helped shape the discourse for some of the 20th century's most powerful social movements and helped make America a fairer, more just place, and actually more compassionate. That is why we're back here to talk about how all of that is at risk. And we have to fight back. We know how to fight back, and we will fight back. And let's just frame what is happening. We have Donald Trump and a whole lot of spineless followers in Washington, his enablers, who are literally, like, this is what's happening. They're waging an all-out war on the working class. Because how else can you describe all the programs that they're just destroying? You know what it is? Taking from the poor to give to the rich. It's nothing more than that. And nothing is more apparent, and then we see the blatant attempts to deny people health care and food, two basic necessities of being alive. And they're hurting programs that do just that. And that's what I want to focus on today. First of all, the big ugly bill. It'll never be the big beautiful bill, no matter how many times he wants to call that. And our Congress member had to endure the torture of seeing that unfold over the summer and signed into law literally on Independence Day. Let's talk about the effects of that. It'll kick nearly 2 million New Yorkers off their health insurance. 2 million New Yorkers without health insurance. Also, 140,000 New Yorkers will face a 40% hike in their affordable care premiums. Now, that's starting not next year. Like they thought they kicked all the bad stuff after their election. They thought they were being really clever about this. But right now, with the shutdown, we're going to see people literally on November 1st and through the month of November lose the premiums that help them afford health care. And families are going to see a 40% increase in their insurance use. I think most people do not know this train wreck is coming. And that's what I want to put out there now and continue echoing this and reinforcing this and letting them know what's happening. And try to change that dynamic because it's going to be so painful. I mean, the family's sitting there at the end of the month looking at the stack of bills, the utility bills, the rent bills. Now they've got to look at their health insurance premiums, I bet a lot of them didn't even know they're being subsidized. They probably thought, well, that's the price of health care. No, it's not. It's much higher. And the Affordable Care Act, President Obama's legacy achievement, is what helped people be able to make those payments easier. And that assistance is going to be wiped away. But also, this isn't a next year problem. 300,000 people are going to lose critical food assistance as well as heating assistance. So, you know what? Let's talk about the politics of this. It's not a political event, but there's politics behind this. There are 7 members of Congress who are Republicans. 7. Only one in New York City, a little further south from here. But statewide, any one of them has the power because they have such thin margins right now, right? The balance of power between Democrats and Republicans is awfully close. Any one of them or a couple of them could walk into Speaker Johnson's office and say, you know, I thought about this, I just can't do that. I cannot do that to the people who put me in office. I can't unleash that much pain on families in my state. But they're all a bunch of cowards. None of them have done that. They still have a chance. And the voices throughout their districts need to be elevated so they understand and feel the pressure that you have time to reverse this right now. What are you waiting for? Because otherwise, you're just on the side of those who are happy to take from the poor and give to the rich. So they'd rather have tax breaks for their billionaire buddies. No, they also deliberately shut down government because we're going to keep fighting to make sure these premiums are in place. We're also dealing with sky-high inflation, tariffs. Now we're having another war with Canada. What they do to us? It's a nice country, nice people. I like them. They also root for the Buffalo Bills, which makes me really happy. But for God's sakes, they're our largest trading partner. We talk about something like housing, why housing costs so much. You know where we get the wood and the aluminum and the steel from? It comes from Canada. So when those prices are going to go up, when you want a new house or a developer is going to put in some affordable housing units, he's now got to raise the price to offset Donald Trump's war with Canada. So see the trickle-down effect on our communities and what we're trying to do? The impacts of Washington that are just so harmful. So on the SNAP benefits, now, Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, doesn't seem to give a damn that we have over 3 million New Yorkers who could go hungry during the month of Thanksgiving. I mean, 3 million New Yorkers because of the shutdown. That's separate from the ones who are going to permanently lose their funding. I don't want to mix this up, but there's a handful that because of the law in place now will lose it for good. But there's also 3 million at risk right now because of the shutdown. Now, I thought she must be a reasonable person. She's a cabinet member. She has the ability to unleash $5 billion in emergency funds. They're sitting right there, not being used. So he wrote a real nice letter saying, you know what? You think you could help us out here? Can you make sure that families and kids have food during the month of Thanksgiving? She says there's nothing she can do. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. There is something she can do and this administration can do right now. So, because they won't, just in a matter of short time, we're going to have older New Yorkers, kids, families hurting even more. And the small businesses, the mom and pop shops, the bodegas, or even walk in with their food stamps and buy the food. The farmers upstate particularly, all of them are going to be hurting, and many of them are in the room today. And I want to thank you again for lending your voices to this fight. So all we're saying is just unfreeze the SNAP funding. You can do this. Get back to work. Stop the shutdown. Stop taking away health care. Stop taking away food. Just start looking out for the American people. And while we wait for the Republicans to see the light of day, I'm not sure I'm holding my breath on that one, my team and I are working around the clock to make sure that families in New York do not miss a meal, because that is a painful concept to me. That's why today I'm announcing I'm fast-tracking $30 million in emergency food assistance funds. That'll support 16 million meals, 16 million. And this will support our food security network, many of your representatives in this room. It'll help keep food pantries stocked and little kids' tummies fed. And that's in addition to the $11 million I announced on Friday. So $41 million combined overall support right now during this crisis. I also point out that earlier this year, we fought for, and with the support of the legislature, we secured a proposal to have every single school breakfast and lunch paid for. So, see, in our state, we don't steal from kids. We feed our kids, right? But now with SNAP in jeopardy, what I'm looking at, because I said, what about giving more money in school or more food in school that the kids can take home? Because I'm trying to find a real direct pipeline to the kitchen tables across this state. So I got to work out some details. Apparently the money is only allowed for in school, but I also said, what if hypothetically there's leftovers every day? Can you take the leftovers home? Maybe it's a few extra sandwiches to feed the kids who are not school age or to help out at the dinner table. So I'm trying to get real creative here, my friends, because we are in a desperate situation. This is real. This is real pain. This is not talking about something down the road that is literally the month of November. So I'm going to make sure we can look at that. I'll be announcing very shortly our strategy and our policies. In a couple of minutes, you're going to hear from two brave New Yorkers who will come to the podium and talk about what they and their families stand to lose if, in fact, the Republicans continue down this track and freeze SNAP. And I know a lot of you are watching. You all have stories to tell beyond just these two here today. Let's tell those stories. Let's capture those stories and be able to share them more broadly. So guess what? You can go to our new website, newyork.gov/federal cuts, to tell Republicans how their policies are affecting you and your family. Raise up your voices, my friends. This is how we're going to have an effect. And I want this done all over the country. We will not be silenced while they take away food from our kids. They think these cowards think they can turn their backs on us, but we won't let them. We're going to make them see and feel the real pain they're inflicting. I know it seems very desperate out there, but I also must know there's hope. I believe in hope. And everywhere I go, from my hometown of Hamburg to Harlem, Buffalo to Brooklyn, I see spirited, resilient people who are rising up, who are standing up, using their voices. We will not cower to these injustices. That's not the spirit of New Yorkers. It's not who we've ever been. And I want them to know that I'm standing with them, shoulder to shoulder, as we fight for their families, with their friends and communities. And I believe in this country. I believe that this is a temporary fever, perhaps, that has seized America. But someday, the health will return. We'll get our country back and get our priorities back on track. We've never lost sight of them here in New York. But clearly they have in Washington and in districts, 7 districts here in the state of New York, represented by people who just don't give a damn. We must turn that tide, my friends. So out of darkness does come light and hope. And that's what I'm going to leave here today, seeing all of you as people who care so deeply, our elected leaders, but also those who are on the front lines of making sure that God's children, God's families, God's people have what they deserve. This is our moment, New York. This is our moment to be heard. And I thank all of you for being on this journey for us. And we'll look back at this day and say, this is when we said, we're taking back our country. Thank you very much, everybody. And I know, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. a man who needs no introduction, especially here, the fighter of all fighters, our great Congressman, Adriano Espaillat.
Thank you, Governor. We are blessed to have a fighter like Governor Hochul during these difficult days. We need somebody that understands our challenges and is willing to step up during a difficult time and support us. We want Dr. Aponte, thank you, and the young New Yorkers that are here. Recycle, no, we don't like that. Young. Thank you, Dr. Aponte. I was here in Borinque, not too far away from here, the Borinque clinic, to respond in Spanish to the State of the Union a few months back. And we warned America that these cuts were coming and that we will be fighting them. Because this is a district that has a lot of resilience, but it has also great challenges. And 480,000 plus people are Medicaid. There's 300,000 people that receive SNAP. 60,000 people will lose Medicaid with these cuts. And 12,000 people will see their premiums go up. So this is the epicenter in many ways of this healthcare food security crisis. So we're fighting back, and thank you, Governor, for putting over $40 million for food security, for children and families and young adults. Thank you so much for doing that. Because when the rubber meets the road, this is what it's all about. And we need a leader that will be sensitive enough, that will step in and will throw the first punch. And that's what Governor Hochul does. So we'll give her a round of applause for her leadership. And as I said, 300,000 families are on SNAP in my congressional district. And that's a large number of people. And you see the lines in the food pantries. I don't need to tell you. The electeds are here. I don't need to tell you when you walk around and you see the lines going around the block. And believe me, before, there was a certain characteristic of who stood in line. But now you're seeing families with kids. And you're seeing seniors, making long lines. And so this is a crisis, right? And all of this is to give a tax break to the very rich, the donors that are injecting money into his campaign, and he want to pay them off now. So this is the thriller in Manila. This is the fight of the century. This is no joke. We need to be ready. And I'll be remiss if I don't tell you, I was in Chicago this week with 18 other members of Congress to hear the story of what's going on there with ICE. Because I believe very strongly that they're experimenting their model in smaller cities to see what works for them and what doesn't work to them. But they're coming to New York. In fact, they're already here. They were here on Canal Street. And so we got to be ready. And what I saw the community do in Chicago is they got a rapid response system. They are filming, like our Attorney General requested from us, plate numbers, officers, because, someday we'll be able to go back and prosecute these guys that are breaking the law. So we got to have the documentation. Consolidated legal services, an educational campaign so people know the do's and the don'ts. The schools are implemented slow lockdown protocols, virtual learning for those students that are afraid to come into school, safety corridors, so a family could know there's a school, there's a business that will give them shelter. These are the emergency practices that are being implemented in Chicago and other places. And we got to come up with our own, because this will be the showdown, and the international showdown. Because he's going to come here, and we're going to be ready. We're going to be ready as a community. We will be ready to fight back. And I'm happy to know, I am comforted to know that the governor will be by our side, leading the way. So this is important. This is it. It's crunch time. We got to come together, put our differences on the side, our little fights over nothing on the side. Let's talk in both languages, English and Spanish. Let's come together, young, all, man, woman, gay, straight. Doesn't, you can pray to this God or that God. It doesn't matter. Let's all come together. Because he feeds off of that. And he pushes us to fight. And so let's get this done. Medicaid, Medicare devastated. SNAP, severely damaged. The premiums for 12,000 of the families that I represent are going to go right through the roof. I think it's a 215% increase, doctor. And a clinic like Borinque, a federally funded clinic, totally compromised. Hospitals, Montefiore Hospital in the Bronx, 80% of their patients are Medicaid patients. It's a safety net hospital, devastated. The people that are on private insurance would also get hurt, because if a hospital like Montefiore, like Mount Sinai, like Presby is hurt, and you go there with your private insurance, the quality of your health care is going to be compromised. So this is it. This is crunch time. Let's come together, New York. Let's get behind our governor, Kathy Hochul. God bless you and keep the faith. En español. 2 millones de neoyorquinos van a perder su seguro de salud. 3 millones de neoyorquinos van a perder sus cupones de alimentos. Más familias van a enfrentar costos altos por su seguro y su servicio de salud. Estamos con la gobernadora. Ella propuso $41 millones para la ayuda alimenticia. Estamos muy alentados de que ella está con nosotros y que ella es la líder de este estado. Gracias.
Now, please welcome to the podium Pamela Stevens, member of Vocal New York.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. My name is Pamela Stevens. I am a leader in Vocal New York and a lifelong New Yorker. Today, I'm here to speak to you as someone about in the risk of losing my SNAP benefits. I've been on SNAP for a number of years now. It helps me keep food in my refrigerator. It fuels me so I can go out and help my community. The money I receive is one piece of the puzzle that helps every month. My SNAP benefits are cut. If my SNAP benefits are cut from my budget, everything would change for me. Without SNAP assistance, sometime things will have to give. My rent, my bills, my phone bill, all a necessary need that I have. People who have never gone hungry, like Trump and his billionaire best friends, would not understand this. They would assume people who get SNAP are getting free money. That couldn't be more wrong. With the cost of groceries I cannot fill my refrigerator with SNAP benefits alone. Just the other week, less than 12 items cost me more than half my benefits. Trump and his Republican friends cry fraud when talking about SNAP. Y'all have to excuse me, I am nervous. But when people in their district start complaining about they're going hungry and going to their legislators and asking for help, those Republicans will have so much more to cry about. Their people need it just as much as we do. Voters are not going to go for this. Trump is playing a political game with our lives. He knows Thanksgiving is not that far away. He's using well-being as leverage to get Congress to make cuts to our health care and more. For so many New Yorkers, it's one of the few things they get to see their family and break bread. What are we supposed to tell our families when we can't bring a dish to the table? It's not right. It's not right at all. Nervous. We are human, not political pawns. That's why I want to thank you, Governor Hochul, for stepping up. She's standing up to Trump because she knows these cuts will hurt New Yorkers. We know that she will not let us go hungry. She will help us keep food on our table without sacrificing our other services and support that we need. I deeply appreciate getting the chance to share my story today. I speak for those who can't be here today, whether because they're working or busy trying to find their next meal. We won't play into Trump's starvation plans. We won't go back. And thank you, Governor Hochul. We won't go hungry. Thank you again.
Now, please welcome to the podium Oybek Ochildev, Youth Advocate of the Chinese American Planning Council.
How would you feel if you spent almost all your money on rent and bills, but still didn't have enough money to eat, while your 6-year-old daughter went hungry? My name is Oybek Ochildev, and I'm an 18-year-old student from Brooklyn Gravesend. And right now, my family of 5 sees SNAP benefits as a lifeline. We've been using SNAP for 9 years and has helped us survive. Between my sister and me, we receive about $600 total. Even with that amount, it's hard to keep up. We can't always afford fresh foods or healthier foods. And with prices going up, but soon I'll grow out of the program. And that will leave my family with only $300 to feed 5 people. $300 to feed 5 people a month is really a bad joke. And the government shutdown is only making it worse. Food stamps for my family serve only one purpose: to survive. They make sure we don't have to go to school hungry and that my family has something to eat every day. Losing SNAP would change our lives, and specifically my sister's life. Without SNAP, my parents would have to choose between rent and groceries. And my little sister might have to skip meals, relying on unhealthy foods to get by, since it's cheaper nowadays to buy junk food than actually healthy foods. I want to share my story because SNAP isn't just a program, it's my lifeline. SNAP helps me to stay focused, healthy, and hopeful. Cuts and delays aren't just numbers on a piece of paper. They impact real kids and families like mine. I want families to be healthy. I want every child and family to have enough to eat. I believe food to be a natural right for everyone. So thank you, Governor, and everyone else that's fighting for us, for New Yorkers. I appreciate it.
That concludes our program. Thank you for joining us today.